Okay, another video today about the Israel and Palestine war, or occupation we should call it, is on Al Jazeera today. This one is understanding Ireland's solidarity with Palestine. So I did a video a few days ago with Dan Bilzerian and Piers Morgan fighting about who's who and who's, you know, whatever, these kind of controversial points, and I got a lot of comments saying I wasn't taking a side. But obviously, guys, I'm Irish. We're on the side of Palestine. I talked about this in 20 videos. I've made about 20 videos talking about this type of thing, how I'm on the side of Palestine. So please save your comments for this video. This one's gonna actually understand the links between Ireland and actually what's happening in Palestine, because from what I understand, you know, Britain kind of occupied Ireland for about 700, 800 years, and it's very similar to what's happening in Israel and Palestine right now. So drop a comment down below, like, comment, subscribe, check out my Patreon as well, buy a t-shirt, buy some merch, and let's go.
For a while now, we've known where Israel draws its support from. Who stands in solidarity with Palestine? Well, one of the most pro-Palestinian nations in the world is not a Muslim country, nor is in the Middle East. I'm Annalise Borses, and on this episode of The Stream, we look into why the Irish are so sympathetic to the Palestinian cause.
And also, guys, like Dan Bilzerian said, I'm not Muslim or Jewish, so I don't have a dog in the race, okay? But we're doing it from a side that actually we think is the right side, you know?
Let's begin the show with Andy Clark, an Irish history expert who you may know as Tenistry on Instagram. Here's his take on the historical link behind the relationship between the Irish and the Palestinians.
Whenever you look at the British colonisation of Ireland and the Israeli colonisation of Palestine, it becomes very easy to see why so many Irish people stand with Palestine, because a lot of the things that Britain did in Ireland have been done by Israel in Palestine.
Yeah. And we're actually still, for those who don't know, we're still occupied by Britain. Okay, Northern Ireland, the top 6 counties are still owned by Britain. Okay, we only have 26 counties in Ireland. We should have 32 together, but we don't, guys.
One of those things is land confiscation. In 1641 in Ireland, around 40% of the land was owned by England or by settlers. And just about 70 years later, that number has skyrocketed to over 90%. Another strategy is the use of religion to justify atrocities or to oversimplify a conflict. In Ireland, everything is boiled down to Catholics versus Protestants. In Palestine, everything is boiled down to Muslims versus Jews.
So the land confiscation and religion is a big thing.
In reality, these conflicts are political, they are colonial, but the use of religion to oversimplify them and remove nuance makes it easier to trick people into falling into one camp or the other.
True, and it's like manipulation and, you know, propaganda on the news, guys. So I don't want to hear about anyone's whose side I'm supporting. Go check out the video I reacted to Piers Morgan versus Bassem Youssef. Of course I'm on the Palestine side, guys. That's crazy to think that. It's just that video was very, very controversial. I couldn't say a whole bunch because they can just pull your YouTube channel, you know. And I'm not, you know, like I said, I don't have a dog in the race. I'm just saying it from a neutral position, who I think is correct here.
Ronald Storrs, the first British military governor of Jerusalem, called Israel a loyal little Jewish Ulster, and this refers to another strategy, partition. Ireland was partitioned into 26 counties and then 6 counties of Ulster. Those 6 counties are still in the UK, and it was partitioned under threat of violence from Britain. It was a heavily contentious issue, and the partition of land, presented as a compromise, is another strategy used by both Britain and by Israel to try and suggest that they are open to compromise or debate, when in reality it's about coercion and control. Another key parallel is the Black and Tans. They were a paramilitary group used in Ireland to crush Irish resistance to Britain. They were condemned by everyone, by MPs, archbishops, even the King of England condemned them. Once they were done in Ireland, they left Ireland and they went over to Palestine, where the same strategies of anti-civilian violence, of burning people's property and hurting civilians, were used.
Yeah, it's wild to hear that the Black and Tans in Ireland were actually went and used for war in Palestine as well, in Israel.
Same strategies of anti-civilian violence, of burning people's property and hurting civilians, were used in Palestine, but that condemnation evaporated once they left Ireland and went over to Palestine.
Yeah.
Fascinating stuff. Let's bring in our guests now to help us unpack all of that. Taig Hickey is an Irish comedian, actor.
It's kind of funny to hear her say Taig. Taig is such an Irish name, or at least I think it is.
Writer and musician whose sketches on geopolitics have gone viral online. Cleana Walsh from the Ireland-Palestine Solidarity Campaign.
Brachnock, that's Walsh, that's my last name as well, so this lady probably is my cousin.
And Michaela Rafferty, who works with the boycott, divestment and sanctions.
Michaela Rafferty.
Movement in Belfast. Thank you all so much for your time today. I would like to start by getting your views on this shared history of colonization and revolutionary struggle, and how you guys find yourselves part of this solidarity movement. Cleana, can I get you to start here?
I think in Ireland, it's the solidarity between colonised peoples in the face of empire, in the face of war. And if you go to a protest in Dublin, people are very proud to fly their tricolours alongside the Palestinian flag. You'll have posters with old Irish revolutionary slogans, repurposed to support Palestine. You'll hear people chanting, "In our millions, in our billions, we're all Palestinians." And I think Irish people really do
I never heard that one before. That's a good one.
mean that in a very heartfelt way. That identification through our colonial history is, I think, an active, engaged, anti-imperialist one. It's not some kind of flat sense of victimization, but I think it's that history has been kept alive by more recent struggles. Of course, the Troubles in the North is massively important. The island is still partitioned to this day.
Yeah. That's why I say, guys, the island, we only have 26 counties and they have 6. Okay, they still own the 6 counties.
Grieving families are trying to get justice from the British government for atrocities committed. So that's a vital link. And then you had the 1984 boycott of South African goods, which eventually led to the Irish state putting sanctions on apartheid South Africa. So these are proud legacies that have left almost an infrastructure of solidarity organisations over the last few decades.
Through organising and mobilising. Michaela, you were affected on a personal level by this history of colonisation and resistance. Would you mind sharing that story with us and how that shaped you and still influences you today in your support for the Palestinian cause?
And like I say, guys, it's more of a spiritual thing for the people of Ireland, because obviously we don't have, we're a Christian nation, okay? But we see that sort of occupation, we see this sort of horrendousness that's happening as the same as what happened to us against Britain. So it's more of a spiritual thing for us,
Sure, yeah. So I'm from Belfast in the north of Ireland, and as has been explained, we're still under British occupation through our devolved government. When I was a young person, my father was imprisoned for his political actions in the Irish resistance. It was a very isolating time as a young person for me and my younger brother and sister. Having our daddy put in jail, and that kind of dominant narrative that this was our fault as a family. And I was linked in through a support system, a youth organisation. I was linked in with a young person in Palestine whose father was being illegally held in an Israeli jail, and the two of us kind of just became like pen pals and shared read letters to each other and shared our experiences with each other. So I remember that being a really a pivotal time, I guess, in sparking my own interest in what's going on in Palestine, and really feeling that close solidarity as two young people who were living these oppressive systems. And yeah, then I just continued to try to understand the Palestine struggle. I went to visit Palestine myself, and unfortunately, like through the contact that me and this girl had carried on for a few years, and then I think at some stage our letters were intercepted and we lost contact. And I do often wonder where's she and where's her family and what's going on for her. So yeah, I feel like as Irish people, we as people and citizens of the world, first and foremost, we have an obligation and a responsibility to do all that we can.
Absolutely, guys. Like I said, it's more of a spiritual thing. So now we have a kind of a TikTok from Ty Hickey, Neighbours from Hell. Neighbours from Hell. This is going to be funny.
Neighbours from Hell. We're with an innocent young man who claims to be under attack by not one neighbour, but several. Not to mention his own housemate.
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a head scratcher because I'm such a lovable and placid guy.
And this is obviously playing off the fact that a lot of them act as victims.
You know, I mean, these ruffians here, openly hostile towards me, particularly at the moment for some reason.
And can you think of anything that might have provoked that?
I mean, I killed a cherished member of their family and injured many others with explosive pagers.
You did what?
But other than that... Now, this family, psychos. Ask anyone, pure evil. They get all their cronies to attack me pretty much every day. They want to kill me.
Unprovoked, I assume.
I mean, I killed a few of them when I blew up the conservatory in there.
Is there any chance that you're the one doing the provoking?
Is there any chance you'd like to retract that, or I'll see to it that you lose your job?
Oh, that's a good one. Damn, that's really good. Hey, Ty Kitchen. I know you're not watching this, but much love to you, bro. That's really funny and really good and really smart, actually. You know, really smart.
How did you come to know about these struggles, and why did you decide to do these sketches?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say it was a real buzz for me to see my back garden on Al Jazeera. That was a
Yeah, shout out to Al Jazeera.
lovely moment for me. So yeah, I think I've been educated by the fact that I would be an Irish Republican, I suppose, and my views, like since I've been in school, have been very much about Irish resistance and the colonial experience. And again, as Michaela touched on, because it's also recent in the north, I think they've been like steps ahead of us in the south. But a lovely thing that has happened, if I can say that something lovely has happened in all this horror in the last year, is that people in the south, like me and others, I suppose, have come to understand a little bit more our colonial past and our colonial identities. Like the north had no other choice but to understand it because they were still living through it. But
It's true, guys. They actually still had like a lot of trouble there. They had a lot of car bombs and bombs going off in Northern
in the
Ireland.
south, we'd kind of walk down a kind of more consumerist post-colonial world where it's almost embarrassing to bring it up. And I think the Palestinian people have made us look at ourselves. And I think, as Cleana lovely, she wonderfully touched on the idea that you're not going back to be maudlin, you're just going back to understand where you've come from, I think, so that you can be more fulsome in the present, and you can go forward with actual solidarity. So it's in many ways it's kind of unifying Ireland, this kind of solidarity with Palestine. But yeah, I mean, I suppose I'd always been interested, and I'd been reasonably kept up on what was going on. But I suppose everything changed this year because the level of horror and the level of barbarity was just on a scale that no one had ever seen before.
It's true, absolutely.
And then it went for me from an abstraction, where something that I was kind of interested in geopolitically, into something that was personal, because I now have so many friends from the area, and they're just...
And Arabic people are great, guys. I love all my Muslim and Arabic friends. I was actually born in the UAE till I was like 6. You know, I was born abroad in a Muslim country. Beautiful, best place I've ever been in my life, apart from Ireland, of course. And beautiful people. Seems like, you know, as DB said, and as Bilzerian said, Dan said, you know, you can make fun of you can make fun of Arabic people all you want in the news and everything all day long, but as soon as you make fun of the other side, you know, you're not allowed to, guys. So what does that tell you? I love you all, man. Much love to all my Middle Eastern people. Much love to Palestine as well. Of course, guys, don't ask me any more stupid comments in the question. Don't ask me any stupid questions in the comment section down below saying which side do I support. Like, really? I'll see you guys all in the next one. I love you all. Stay free.